Okay, onward and upward. Now we are at lesson 1. The first video was the welcome video. This is the actual lesson number 1 that we're jumping into. And the question is, what are webinars for? Now, you probably know this, otherwise you wouldn't be a part of this program, but let's create some clarity as to the different things you can use it for, because many of you might be thinking sort of in a box, right? Right at the moment, you're like, okay, I can sell my products on a webinar. But let's go further into that and really dive into what you can use webinars for, especially when you start getting used to them. So let's talk about these factors. Okay, so what are webinars for? Well, the biggest thing is lead generation and list building. When I first started using the power of webinars, I first started using them. I was making videos on YouTube, and then I would make a video all about, hey, I'm running a live webinar on September 9th. Come on and check it out, right? I would do that, and then I would drive traffic from that video into a webinar. Now, the very first year that I started using webinars, it was the one thing that allowed me to build my email list. So I got about 14,000 people on an email list from webinars. Now, if you're not selling a product or service yet, then you could be doing this right out of the gate, just training people on webinars for just essentially lead generation, right? Lead generation and list building. And this is hands down one of the best things you could possibly do. This is an awesome way. You could run weekly webinars live. They could be free if you wanted to, and you wouldn't have to sell anything if you don't have anything to sell yet. That could be how you generate leads, okay? So even if you don't have a product yet, this is a list builder hands down. But number 2, if you do have an online course, better yet, because you can run a live free webinar and then at the end sell your courses. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this Elite Webinar Mastery program. We talk about how to create a high converting sales webinar among, of course, all the cool factors of an automated webinar to send automated traffic, to send different traffic formats into an automated webinar that essentially can work for you on autopilot. So it's creating a level of automation and scalability in your business online. And then qualifying your customers, let's say as a consultant or service. So let's say that you have an offline store, right? You may be a mom and pop shop. Maybe you're a lawyer or a doctor, or maybe someone who is an insurance agent, or let's say someone who does investments. What you can do is you can use the power of webinars first for education, and so you can teach someone something, right? Teach them a solution to something or a pain point that they might be experiencing. But then instead of selling your products, you could actually qualify them, your audience, by having them fill out an application to work with you. We've tested this funnel out. It works like gangbusters. If you're someone who's selling a coaching program or trying to get consulting clients, this is an number 1 way to do it. Getting them into an application on the webinar itself. We do this with automated webinars where the application button pops in at a certain time. That person can click on it who's watching, and then they can fill out a form for potentially filling out an application to work with you, right? Where you qualify those people to determine if they're going to be customers, and then they can get on an intake call with you. All right, I'll get more into detail on this. This is going to be something that we're going to be covering in the future, but I just wanted to give you some clarity right out of the gate to tell you some of the cool things that you could do with webinars. So this is a really, really cool funnel that's worked really well. We've been able to close 20,000 coaching students with this particular funnel. All right, now, webinars aren't just for selling your online digital courses, but you can essentially sell physical products and books, okay? You could do this for both automated and live. By the way, lead generation works great for both automated and live webinars, so does selling your online courses and qualifying your customers. So all of these things that we're talking about right now apply to both automated and live webinars. So selling your physical products and books is a great way to do it. Oftentimes what I say is bundle up, say 10 to 15 of your physical product. Maybe offer a discount. They can get them in bulk on a webinar. So you sell more units on a webinar. You have more sales on a webinar due to that fact. And at the very least, you get them on an email list where you can sell them into something larger. A physical product such as like a book or, some sort of a fitness product or something that relates to what their niche or passion is great, because that's the first stage. That's the thing that they need. And then you can take them into where they might be wanting to be a part of your online program or online community. Or maybe they want to work with you one-on-one. You can teach them something based around that physical thing that you're giving them. So just realize that a webinar is perfect for selling these physical products, as well as taking them into the next level of, say, upsells or downsells based on where you want them to go from there. And webinars are perfect for those upsells and downsells as well. Now, you might be someone who doesn't have a product yet, and that's A-okay. You have to allow yourself to understand that it's not as important for you to have your own existing product, because there are awesome affiliate programs and products out there that you can get from other people, right? So the idea behind affiliate products and programs, and we'll have a bonus module in here all about affiliate marketing. But this idea is essentially where you can promote other people's products and services, right? And get paid for it. You could create a webinar for that product and service, even if it's already out there. Let's say that the product owner has his own webinar or her own webinar. Well, don't worry. You could essentially do your own webinar about that same product, put your affiliate link in the page where they're watching the event, so they click on your affiliate link, and it takes them to the shopping cart where then you get paid for it. So it doesn't have to be your own products or services. It can be other people's programs that are congruent to your own niche and your own audience. All right, here's another one: running virtual open houses. Many people don't think about this. You as a realtor, maybe you are a realtor. Well, running a virtual open house is something hugely powerful. You could use automated webinars to essentially run an online virtual open house that you pre-record ahead of time and get people to show up, say, on Saturday or Sunday, typically when open houses are. Now, that can be pre-recorded that you stream every weekend, or it can be even live. So during a live open house, you could have a camera person there that's kind of walking through the entire thing, or do it from your phone. That's the beauty of live video nowadays, is that you can run a live video from your phone into a platform. So you can run it into a live webinar platform, an automated webinar platform. We're, of course, going to talk about Easy Webinar and how you can do that with Easy Webinar, of course. But running an open house, a virtual open house, is huge. Obviously, if you're a realtor, this is kind of rising above the noise and doing something completely different than what your competitors are doing. And your buyers will love it, love you for it. Okay. Selling physical conferences. Now, same thing as selling affiliate products. A physical conference is essentially, let's say you're doing maybe a weekend conference in Chicago, or maybe you're doing a weekend conference in London or something like that, and you want to sell that course or that package, that conference package. Well, nothing beats getting a lot of people on a webinar and selling it at one time. Now, part of this program is learning not only how to do a live webinar, but how to use what I call the event launch blueprint to make even more sales over the launch window of a webinar. And that's what people don't understand. You see, my event launch blueprint doesn't just focus on two aspects of webinars, which is live webinars and replays. It actually focuses on 4: live webinars, rebroadcast events, replay events, and automated webinars. And the reason we're specifically going to be focusing a lot on automated webinars in this training is because automated webinars are the foundation of automation and engagement together. So again, back to this, you can sell physical conference packages from a webinar. You can also run conferences. And they're normally called virtual summits, those conferences. What's really cool is this is hugely powerful. This is a great way to build your list. A virtual summit is something where you get several people to share their expertise about a particular topic, and they're scheduled over a period of time. So let's say over 5 days, you schedule maybe 25 people that will be streaming their videos to your audience. You can use a webinar platform to do this. Now, what's really cool about this is that you can create this beforehand. You could create it so it's automated, meaning that you create the videos ahead of time and then stream those videos out in real time using, say, Easy Webinar. So you could run a virtual summit that's completely automated, that is scheduled at specific times where people have to watch at specific times. Just like, when someone would watch a TV show, right? They'd have to watch it at that, 7 p.m. on CBS. That's the time to watch it. Well, that's what you could do with a webinar platform such as Easy Webinar and running virtual summits. Okay, one of my personal favorites is running online live classes for paid customers. This is hugely, hugely, hugely powerful. I've done this before where I've pre-sold programs, pre-sold online live classes for $50,000, $100,000 before I even built it. So I sold the program, I made sales on it, I had a handful of students that would come through the program, and I would run it live as the program went. So this is called, the other name for this is bootcamp. So I'd run this like a 4 to 6 week bootcamp. That's exactly what this platform, this program is run as. Elite Webinar Mastery, in the beginning of its creation, was a full-on live training program that happened every single week, right? We did it live every single week, and then all the archived content went into a membership site, right? So that is the power of this, that you can actually run live classes fulfilled. This is your fulfillment. You sell your program ahead of time, and then you can use webinars to essentially have people meet you at a specific time during the week, maybe 2 times a week at 7 p.m., your time zone, and they can meet you to do the live training, and just let them know that everything will be archived, right? That is a huge way of doing it. You pre-sell the program ahead of time, and then you run it live. Great plan if you want to make sure that the program can sell. And finally, running online weekly free classes for list building, building a know, like, and trust, and authority around education-based marketing. Now, this is exactly what I mentioned in the first one. So we've come full circle. Lead generation, is the way we started, and lead generation is the way we're ending here, because that, at the end of the day, is the beautiful thing about it. It can build your leads. It can build a know, like, and trust and authority in your business, and that's the power of it. Now, we've had people that use Easy Webinar to essentially run live classes for painting. Some people, we've had Ingrid Lee, I think her name was Ingrid Lee, and she ran an online art school, right? Using Easy Webinar, people would come. She'd do these live free courses where she'd teach you how to do art, and then she had a program where people could come in and pay monthly for learning about this stuff, right? So she goes into more detail in the paid. But just realize that you could do this as something for free and then get people into that paid opportunity, that paid class, that paid membership platform that also has live classes. Remember, as we just said, you can run the live classes. And all of that, a webinar is perfect for. So just realize that a webinar can be the foundation of your entire business. And that's why I talk about it like that. That's why I'm very excited about it. And that's what I'm excited about this program for you. So just realize that this is what webinars can do. And I want you to start thinking about how you are going to be using webinars in your business. Maybe you don't have a product yet. Maybe you want to sell an affiliate product. Maybe you have an idea for a product, but you want to maybe sell the idea first and then run a live program. What another name for that is a boot camp. So maybe a 6-week boot camp program all about X, Y, and Z. I want you to start really, really thinking about how you want to use this in your business. And here's the thing, you don't have to limit it to one or the other. I use webinars to do live events, to do automated webinars, to sell my software, to sell my programs, to run live classes, and do free webinars that build my list. And as I already told you, I qualify my customers with an application as well. So I've used most of these different scenarios in my own business using webinars. So I invite you to think about this in your business, and I'll see you in the next lesson.